Video took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Hi everybody, my name is John of Millinery and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first of 4, possibly 5, I'm not too sure, I think 4 plus a live stream videos celebrating Pride Month. Yeah, I can't sing. If you're new here, hi, hello, I'm John, welcome. This is all about hats and millinery and all things headwear, hair, accessory related. So if you are new, just hit that subscribe button down below, and to everybody as well, make sure you turn on notifications so you're notified when I put videos out in the future, especially because I'm hopefully going to start doing live streams again soon. Those of you interested, yes, I am wearing my AB Crystal Hair merch, so that is also in the link down below, and as well as link to my Patreon, but I'll talk a little bit more about Patreon later on in the video. So yes, I was scrolling YouTube as I do on my downtime. I don't really watch terrestrial TV anymore. I tend to watch YouTube. So I was watching YouTube and I came across one of my favourite drag queens' new videos, Trixie Mattel, and she was doing a workspace warehouse tour thing in which she was showing around, and she had this list, and I'll put a clip of that in now.
Product ideas, blue blush, toe rings. This is supposed to be a joke. I don't even think toe rings is a bad idea. Jetpack, love, snow cone machine, 5-sided mirror, 1890s palette, sickening, glow in the dark bronzer, self-applying lipstick, hairnets, and a marine biologist collection.
Yeah, she was like hairnets, and I was like, they're not going to do these anyway. These were like imaginary ideas, things. And I was like, I'll do the hairnets. I'll design some hairnets for Trixie Mattel. I might even send them to her. I'll DM her team and, you know, see if I can get them sent to her. But I thought I'd design some hairnets. So I do have these blonde, I don't know if you can see that on screen, on camera, but I've got these blonde hairnets that I'm just going to customize with things to kind of bring in a Trixie Mattel element. Now, if you are a long time viewer of this channel, you know I'm obsessed. I have this hat that I made inspired by Trixie Mattel already. I'm a big fan of her show with Katya, which I was wearing this hat, which was based on their show. So I'm a stan, I'm a fan, I'm a stalker. Well, I'm not technically a stalker, but I am a fan. So before we go into this video, I just want to kind of explain a few things, like why are we doing Pride videos this month? So why am I doing a series of videos on Pride? Well, A, I'm a gay man, so I'm going to do a series of videos on Pride, and B, just because, like, you know, I want to celebrate the whole queerness and everything. And yeah, I do a Pride video every year, but I thought I'd do like a series of videos this year. And you know, sometimes people say, like, why do you need a gay Pride? What's the purpose of a gay Pride? And I came across, which has been excuse me, which has been doing the rounds on Twitter and everything, and I'm going to read it out now and put it on the screen. So this is by Alexander Leon, and he tweeted, "Queer people don't grow up as ourselves. We grow up playing a version of ourselves that sacrifices authenticity to minimize humiliation and prejudice. The massive task of our adult lives is to unpick which parts of ourselves are truly us and which parts we've created to protect us." And that is very true. You know, to the average person, you know, you don't necessarily have to worry about being picked on, being bullied, being targeted, being harassed just because of who you decide to love. So, and this has been going on for many years. So yeah, there is still a lot more work to be done, and this is just my little way of bringing Pride to my network, and hopefully you will join me on this journey as we kind of discuss Pride. Why is it important? And over this month, obviously not just in this video, and yeah. So this is a short video, by the way, because next week's video is going to be a little bit more, not as light-hearted as this, and it's going to be a little bit more complex. So I wanted to have something which was a little more on the easier side for me this week, and then I could concentrate on getting the video done for next week as well, because that's going to take me a lot longer to film. So yes, without further ado, let's crack on this video and let's make some hairnets. Right, so to make the ribbons for this, you probably, why have you got a fork? Well, I stumbled across this really easy way of doing ribbons. Now they're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they're cute. So you get your length of ribbon. This is probably too long for what it should be, but this is about 10, just over 10 inches long. So get your fork, and you want to place the ribbon on a diagonal across the front of the fork, back underneath at the back, and then you want to cross it over this one and through the middle of the fork, like so. So you've kind of got that look. Then this bit that you've threaded through, you want to thread it through from the back, like so. And then this one here, just loosen it up slightly, you want to thread it under like this is the tricky bit. So making sure it's definitely through, and then just pull tight, and you have a ribbon. So I'm just going to take that off, and there you go, a little ribbon. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting all mine roughly the same. There and there. Cool. And that can go with the rest of my pre-cut ribbons that I've already got. Okay, so you're probably thinking, why have you got a bow? Well, somehow we need to stretch out the hairnet. So I just want to make sure I've got this. So this is a good way of, I mean, you could use an embroidery hoop, just be careful, it could snag. But I found this bowl works perfectly. So bear in mind, these little nubs here, these are going to go at the side of the head. So it's always good to have them kind of at the side. And then we're literally just going to start adding, positioning the bows really. So I have wondered if I should sew these, glue these. I'm not 100% sure. I have done some tests on other hairnets, and sewing really doesn't work very well, so I'm kind of tempted to glue these down. Now you will know, if you're a long time viewer of this channel, you know we don't use glue very often. Sometimes things call for using a dab of glue. So I'm trying to find the straightest ones. So I'm thinking something along the lines of this. No. So what I'm actually just trying to do now is just figure out a way of positioning the bows so they then, I mean, I'm kind of tempted to just chop these down even further. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut these down further. Okay, so I have cut these down a lot smaller, and I think these look a lot more dainty and delicate now, which means I can actually place them in like random directions, like so. Cool. I'm not using all of them because what we would like to do as well is once this is dried, we're going to then move the hairnet so then we can have some more towards the front as well and at the back. So all I'm going to do, yes I know you're probably screaming at me, but I'm just popping a dab of glue in the centre and a dab of glue halfway, oh hello, halfway and then placing that down like so. And what this will do is this will then help the ribbon attached to the hairnet without it sticking to something else, and this is why we've used like this bowl. So these are partly dried, well they're dried enough now for to be able to take them off. Well, not all of them, that's clearly not, yeah, so they're fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this one back on because that one's come off. But while this is drying, I'm actually going to put some crystals on as well. So I have my little stick, which you probably can't see because it's not focusing very well. And I have some crystals. So I am using a sapphire crystal and a blue UV crystal. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up a crystal like so. Is that focused? Nope. Like so. And then just put a dab of glue on the back and position that where it wants to go. So I'm going to try and keep them in the center of like where a cross is. So I may have mentioned this in the intro, but the reason why I'm doing blue is because obviously I wanted to look at the palettes that Trixie has brought out, and not that I'm aware of, but I did like her 80s inspired executive realness palette. So, and that was all like a blue theme, and obviously the later one you'll see is the blonde palette, which is more of a lilac, which is why I picked these two particular colour palettes for these hairnets. So I'm just going to go ahead and carry on adding these crystals, so I'll probably fast forward through this. So these are now back on. The crystals have been added to the center. So what I'm going to do now is, off camera, I am going to just add, I'm just going to move this around once it's dried, add some to the front. I'm not going to add any to the back. And then I'm going to show you how I did the next one. Massive thank you to my Patreon, Reggie. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. It's very much appreciated, so thank you. you know, it does help the funding of this channel. If you want to see your name here, check out my Patreon in the description box below. It can cost less than a cup of coffee a month, so just look at it as buying me a cup of coffee to say thank you for putting out these wonderful videos for you weekly. So if you want to join the Patreon, see that in the description box below as well. Okay, so right, the next one is going to have this very simple but striking design on top of it. Yes, it's on a different block. So once I have had the blue one, once that's dried, I am going to stretch this over and bejewel that as well. But I'm going to show you how I made this really simple and effective pattern, I would say. So I've got this sort of like organza ribbon, and this is around, I'd say just over 6 inches. No, actually no, 8 inches long. So all I did was I made a little love heart shape. So fold it in half and then bring that end to that end to that. Just soften out that crease because I've just accidentally, and here we have a love heart. I was going to do love hearts initially because obviously the love hearts are Trixie's logo, and then all I did really was glue the ends together and just slot that in. So I'm just gonna put it in for reference like that. So let me just take that off. What I ended up doing was I actually used, I don't know where it is, but obviously I'm recording, so I don't want to stop recording. I actually did use like a glue for plastics, because obviously this is polyester, but this should work because it's going to be hidden in the folds anyway. So I'm just holding that cloth together just like so until that gets a bit tacky. I do think the plastic one was actually a lot faster setting than this. The glue in question is this Yoo-Hoo all plastics glue, and it goes everywhere. So let's just put oh, that's dried glue at the top. Just put a tiny amount just at the top there. And we'll seal that up because we don't want that glue going everywhere. Now, if you are got sensitive skin, I very much wouldn't recommend doing this. I would wear gloves if I was you. Right, here we go. So that's starting to dry out already. Ta-da! And then, so what I actually did with this was, so I popped it in, it's where it wants to be. So it wants to be in that one there. Is that correct? Yeah. So that's now symmetrical. Then I turn this upside down. So it actually pulled on the nets. Can you just see that? Let me just see if we can get a better angle. And then just tiny dab of glue where the, where's my thing? I need something to push it. Where the ribbon touched the hairnet. Just a tiny dab of glue. The reason why I did a tiny bit of glue is, as you've just seen there, it sometimes moves around a little. So having that tiny amount of glue means you're not really going to notice it. And it just helps secure just helps secure it a little bit more. So I'm just adding a little bit more glue in certain places. Just like so. And then I'm just going to carry on just adding tiny dots of glue to the hairnet where it touches the ribbon, and then leave this to dry, and then I'll be back with you. So that's had enough time now to dry, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stretch this over like we did with the blue one, and I'm just going to, so making sure there's the side. So this is the bottom here and this is the top. So I'm just going to add the final of the crystals to the flower. So just all I'm doing is just hiding that join really. And oh, there we go. And I am using my favourite crystal, which is obviously a clear AB crystal, which is my favourite. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to probably focus most of the crystals like around here, just at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on the join where I want crystal to go. The reason why I'm doing this first is because I found that it's easier for the crystal to attach to the glue if it's a little bit on the tackier side. And then I'm just going to attach the crystals. What we think? Is that enough? Do we need more? What I think I might do something similar to the blue and just maybe put some more towards the top. Just the right amount of crystals. So I'm going to leave this to dry on the bowl. And it looks like we're done. So I bet you wondered how these actually turned out and how they look like. So I have a wig. Don't ask me why I have this wig, just know the fact I have a wig. So I'm going to put her in. Oh my god, yeah, this is, I have no idea why I have this, I just have it. So I'm going to put on this lavender one first, and I'll come back to you when it's in. Okay, so here we are. This is the lilac hairnet. It isn't fully dry yet, but it's kind of, it's touch dry, so it's fine. It just needs to dry clear. And I'll also put better shots in so you can actually see what it looks like. But it looks really nice. And I think, you know, you can definitely see the hairnet on the dark hair, but on the blonde hair, I think this would look really stunning. Just adds that kind of like levitating glamour on the back of the hair. Now, she's looking a little rough at the front, but that's fine. So this is the purple one, and I'm going to attempt to do the same with the blue. And this is the blue. Now, these are very delicate because they're pretty much held on with a tiny amount of glue. So these are not necessarily like everyday wear. But yeah, it's just looking nice, like especially with a bit of glitz and a bits of glam. She's looking, I mean, she doesn't look great from the front, but hey ho. Yeah, this was a lot of fun to make. Now, why did I pick drag queens for Pride? Well, one of the staples of any sort of gay, lesbian, bisexual, queer, trans, you name it, families are drag queens. They kind of bring people together. I mean, yes, there are some problematic ones we've known in the past, but you know, drag queens tend to be, they give up a lot. They give up a lot to be a drag queen, and I wanted to kind of start Pride season off with a little homage to one of my favourite drag queens, really. And yeah, like, I wanted to do something light-hearted because next week's video is not going to be very light-hearted. I mean, it's still going to have a hat and it's still going to be fabulous, but it's not going to be very light-hearted. So yeah, this was my interpretation of hairnets for Trixie Mattel. If you've got this far, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you join me on all my social media. It's linked in the description box below, as well as link to Trixie Mattel's YouTube channel. Not that she needs any of my followers to go and follow her, but still, if you want to see who I'm talking about, I'll link the video in question so you can check that out. Make sure you follow me on all social media. It's on the screen now, as well as listed in the description box below, especially Instagram. On Instagram, I will be posting weekly on Wednesday, so Thursday, sorry, the day after I post my videos, I'll be posting a story highlighting a queer small business who not necessarily needs some support, but just to raise some awareness to other queer small businesses, really. So look out for that coming on Thursday, so tomorrow, because this goes out on Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching. I've been John, you have been great, I love you all, bye.